All right. Aloha. Namaste. So, Sutra 3.1 is an exploration. The whole third upaya of the Shiva Sutras is an exploration of really trying to understand the workings of our mind more. And this is really important because as Sutra 3.1 tells us, Ātmā Cittam, Ātmā Cittam, that the nature of our reality at this stage of our practice that it's describing is completely colored by our mind. The nature of your reality is completely colored by your mind. That your individual reality is your mind. And so at any given point in your day, you can ask yourself, in this moment, am I directing my actions, or am I really just looking at my mind and following my mind in this moment? Like for example, yesterday a neighbor was walking by and I said hello, and they didn't say anything back, and I think all of us would cringe inside and be like, maybe the neighbor's mad at us, but this neighbor is so nice and usually so exuberant and responds. I realize, it's because she was lost in a thought. And so in that moment, her awareness, and like so many of us, this isn't like a judgment thing, her awareness was completely in her mind. And she was actually being moved by her mind. She was actually in her mind more than in her present. I know, and that happens to all of us all the time. In fact, our mind is described like a puppy, that it's constantly tugging, constantly pulling left and right. We tell the puppy, let's go for a walk. Just like you tell yourself, I'm going to sit down and do this task, right? And right out of the door, the puppy's like smelling the doormat. And and just like you sit down to do a task and immediately you get a text and you're off in that direction, or a cat runs by the puppy and and that becomes like its reality for the next 3 minutes. Just like a cat video pops up on Facebook as you're trying to do something productive, actually, and you end up watching that for 3 minutes. It's very parallel, actually, the puppy mind, the puppy experience and the experience of our mind most days. And this is not uncommon. In fact, that's what this sutra is telling us from the beginning. Let's take a moment to look at the text here that's on the screen. So Shea Maharaja is speaking to us from 1,000 years ago, explaining the nature of our mind. He says, here the Sanskrit word Ātmā does not mean individual being, which that's what it meant back in the first sutra when we were describing the nature of the advanced practitioner. He said here the word Ātmā comes from the verbal root āta, meaning who comes and goes, who is always in movement, moving in repeated births and deaths, being reborn and dying again and again. That mind is Ātmā. And so this movement is when it characterizes our mind 100%. It's always moving, like a grasshopper, pop, 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 always jumping, like a puppy, always sniffing the sense objects of our day. And this is something we can really check in about, because this puppy mind might seem cute at first. It might seem cute, all the little, the little things that the puppy does. But when that puppy grows, as it has, into a mature dog and still has these habits, it's no longer cute. It's actually exhausting, right? It's exhausting for us. It's exhausting for our loved ones. When you go to someone's house and there's that untrained dog, it's like an extra bit of energy the entire time you're there. And so that's what we're doing in meditation, is we're training this puppy mind, trying to get it to walk with us. So let's take some time right now. And do a little practice. And then after we get done practicing today, throughout your day, you can keep checking in with your mind and see if at any given time, are you walking with your mind or are you being dragged around by it, right? And so we'll do a little bit of mantra together. I'm going to play the Shruti box here to guide some of our mantra practice. And I'll look for a thumbs up from the comment boxes to make sure that the audio is coming through well and that you can hear the box and the mantra. So the mantra we'll be doing is Om Namah Shivaya, the lineage mantra here. So find your seat, of course. You're ready to practice, and right away, before you even start, how's the balance of Shruti box and my voice, okay? Again, since you're at home, you're welcome to continue your mantra out loud, or you can move to the breath. And as you continue to use your mantra, this is your leash. It's what connects you. It's what allows you to direct the mind. Use it skillfully. Like a leash, you can feel on the other end of this leash your mind. And if you keep a little bit of tension on it, just a little bit of tension, like you can, so it doesn't drag on the ground, you can keep that link to your mind active with this mantra. So what I mean by keeping a little bit of tension in there, it's not a negative thing. For example, with the breath, just smoothing out the breath, making it even and smooth, keeping that little bit of control in there. And as you do that, consciously repeating the mantra as if you were saying it out loud. Hear it, feel it. That's what I mean by keeping that little bit of tension in there. Tautness. And you can feel when the mind drifts, it's almost like the leash is dragging on the ground, or you're not even holding the leash. And so bring that tautness back to the leash. Feel the breath flow, smooth it out. Clearly repeat the mantra internally. Every thought is like a smell to a puppy. It's interesting to the puppy, but we know that overall it's exhausting. And so your thought will be interesting to you, but for this time, be bigger than the puppy. Be the walker of the puppy. And gently bring the tautness back to your mantra, back to your leash, and direct it towards the heart. And take a little bit slower breath. And try to relax any tension in the shoulders and the neck. Let yourself really feel your seat. As you start to focus the mind, you're actually able to relax more, both mentally and physically, because you have awareness of inner tension that you can release. So when that puppy starts walking on the sidewalk, you'll feel better. And as the puppy walks with you more and more, you don't need the tautness in the leash. You find that you're in step, that you're with your breath, you're repeating your mantra. And allow that to happen. Allow that experience to occur. And then as needed, apply a little bit of tautness to the leash. Pull your awareness back to the breath, the mantra, and walk that way. When you need to pull your awareness out of a thought. To really be an effective trainer of the mind, you have to constantly be in touch with its activity. When it's calm, you can work differently. You can work with a lighter touch. You can absorb more. And when there's activity and it starts to tug, then you have to feel the tautness of your mantra, the tautness of your leash. And you have to maintain that tautness over time. It's not just one or the other, it's constantly moving between these two poles. You can take a little bit deeper breath. Let that breath gently lift the heart. And as you exhale, just draw a little circle with your spine. Moving the shoulders, allowing the eyes to flutter open. And so throughout your day today, check in, feel the tautness of your mantra. Use it to guide you towards directing the mind, and hopefully also feel those experiences of when your mind and you are really walking side by side in the same direction together. And in those moments, absorb that quality. It's just as valuable as the work that gets us there, of course. So, namaste.